Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's Christian here, and you are tuned in for more of my 2 cents, where we embark on a journey exploring the intricate tapestries of faith, spirituality, and the process of deconstruction through the lens of Christianity. Now, if you're joining me, I hope you're ready to engage in some thought provoking conversations, discussions, and delve into the complexities of religious beliefs and navigate the paths of questioning and reconstruction. Whether you're seeking to deepen your understanding of faith, or exploring the realms of deconstruction within the Christian context, this channel is a safe space for open dialogue, introspection, and a compassionate exploration of the intersections between belief, doubt, and discovery. So let's embark upon this journey together. And before we do that, there are 3 points that matter most. Number one, you're not alone. Number two, you're not crazy. Number three, God, your creator, still loves you, and I do too. Now, let me get this mic straight, child, because see, what we're not gonna be able to do is talk to y'all crooked, okay? I'm still working on the things, all right? I am so excited to be back for another video and to also have a viewer a viewer video. Let's make this a viewer video. I won't call it a viewer request because it's actually an email, and I'm excited to talk about it, delve into it. As you can see from the title of the video, it's going to be an interesting one that I really um, can answer these questions. So I'm really excited to do that. Now, before I get there, welcome to the channel. If you're new, I'm so excited that you're here. Hopefully you'll click around, stick around, enjoy the conversation, and will become a part of the 2 Cents crew by joining the channel and subscribing. We would love to add you here. And if you are a returning 2 Center, thank you so much for your time today. I can't think of a better way to spend my time with someone. I say, my 2 cents, my 2 cents, community, hey, community, hey. Because one thing I'm going to do is present you with the bars, 1, 2, okay? I got them for days. I don't know when I'm going to drop my album, but when I do, I have a lot of variety for you. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, we have an email here. We will keep her anonymous, but she has sent several emails before, and I always appreciate getting emails from you guys. I don't always get to respond. Please, like they say in church, charge it to my head and not my heart. I read, I see them. But life do be lifing. Now, if you're not aware, let me give you a little background on myself or a little bit of what's going on right now. So, as you all know, if you watch videos, I am a business owner, an entrepreneur, and I have my own manufacturing company in the Dallas Fort Worth area. And in November, we launched into HEB here in Texas, which is the largest grocery store in Texas. And that's been a really big thing for us. We recently got a deal with Fairfield Inn and Suites to have our pancake mix used in several of their chains. And I am super excited about that. So I've been really busy. And then I decided to add a entrepreneurial podcast to the table, which is called Package for Success. So you guys can check that out on any platform that you listen to your podcasts on, with one of my other entrepreneurial friends and um, peers. And it's really great. We're just getting started with that. And so I am super engaged. I won't call it busy, because being busy reminds me of what my kids are. I'm engaged and productive. It's the difference. I ain't busy like these kids. I'm productive as an adult. All right. Okay. So, some background on why I may not always respond or always get to create a video is because I have um, so much going on. But I am truly grateful. And whenever I can skirt to the side and get over here for my 2 cents, people, I'm going to do my thing. Okay. All right. So, I'm finally getting around to this email. I think it was actually sent in February, but nonetheless, I'm gonna do my best to get into it. Yes. All right, so let's go. It says, hey, I'm back again with another question. Do you believe God sends someone into your life? How can you know if a person is sent to you from God? I desire to be in a healthy, beautiful, romantic love relationship someday, and I've been asking God to send me someone, especially someone I find attractive. Okay, sis, ain't nothing wrong with want to look at what you want to look at. All right. There was this guy that works at Hardee's restaurant that would tease me about getting my food freshly cooked. That was going on about 2 or 3 months. And then one day he seen me outside of his job at another restaurant and tried to holler at me. He never introduced himself to me, like asking me what my name is or how old I am, or tell me what his name or age was. Asking me where my phone is at, which I kind of thought was weird when we don't know each other and my phone was dead. So he got a little card and laid it out on the table and told me to drop it, as to say, drop my phone number. Oh, wow. Okay. Hmm. I don't I don't prefer to be talked to in that manner to get my information, but I'm married, so nobody would be telling me to drop anything because these hands, rated E for everyone. I'll drop these hands, but I won't be dropping any numbers. Okay, let's get back to the email. I didn't want to write it down, but felt pressure for some reason, so I did. And then he asked me what I'm doing after I get my food. I said, I'm going home to eat. Then he said, how about I pull up on you? Then I told him I had to see what my mom has to do. And then he said what they got to do with us, as if we were already in a relationship and we haven't even started texting yet. Was that a red flag? I did feel bad because I've been single for a minute and then didn't want to talk to him, but I felt uncomfortable. This is a really good, question. So let's go ahead and go back to your initial questions, right? Your initial questions were, do you believe God sends someone into your life? So I'll start there. And personally, I can tell you that I don't know how I feel about whether or not I believe God sends anyone into your life versus who you attract into your life. I think that a lot of times, depending on what your background is, spiritually and belief wise, we're all made to feel as if though God is doing everything, right? God is sending things, be them good, be them challenging. God is doing a new thing, right? Be it good or be it challenging. God is moving in your situation, be it for the better or for the closing of something that's protecting you. Everything is formulated when you have a religious background in the frame of mind that God is doing all of these things. I need for you and for anyone else under the sound of my voice, okay? That's a church term, under the sound of my voice, to understand that you are the author, you are the creator of your experiences here. God does not, in my belief, these are my beliefs now, right? So I'm only expressing what I believe. I can't tell you what to believe, but I can say this from experience. When I stopped seeing my life as something that God was creating and started realizing that my experiences were something that I was directly attracting, it changed everything for me. And it really happened like instantly because I started putting myself in the driver's seat and started being more conscious and aware of what I was asking for. And I know some of you may have heard these terms: vibrating, the level you're vibrating on, what you're aligning with. All of those words are real and they're true. Because if you just look at how your life has played out up until this point, and you just go through experiences and you say, dang, this did happen when I was feeling like this. This kept happening when I would say these things. Every time I felt this way, this will be the result afterwards. Those are really real indications that you are in the seat of the person attracting and creating those realities. And it's not a bad thing, but you should be more aware of what your subconscious is requesting and what you are actually emotionally attaching yourself to. The outcomes, the experiences, all of that is up to you. God is not doing that. God is not orchestrating your life and taking away free will to force someone into your experience for you to deal with and navigate or have to attach yourselves to, or like release yourself from. That's you. All right. So with you saying, what you asking, do I believe God sends someone into your life? No, I don't believe God sends anyone into your life. I believe you attract the people who will give you the situations and the outcomes that you yourself are vibrating on that level. I can say this for my husband. I wasn't praying to God to send me anyone to date or to fall in love with. I just knew that I was a teenager, and I was not conscious at all about praying or anything like that. Um, but now looking back on it, I met my husband when I was 17 in my senior year of high school, and we were married by the time I was 21. And we went through all of those years of long distance dating, going through bull, teenagers, immature, like trash behavior, toxic stuff, right? Um, but at the same time, I was doing toxic things. He was doing toxic things. We were learning, we were growing, we were shedding some characteristics, we were developing, we were changing as individuals, we were maturing, we were growing into experiences in, like kind of in survival mode based off of our environment, trying to be adults, but at the same time, trying to navigate that next step in life, which was not being in high school, but now being full adults and having to take care of ourselves and those responsibilities, but also engage in love and respect for each other. And that looked different. And we didn't always attract the best situations to do that in. And I wouldn't say that was a God thing, that was an us thing. Where were we and what were we creating consistently for our experience? And once we got out of a certain flow in a certain cycle where it wasn't the back and forth of breaking up to make up, right? Problems and drama, and when you really come full circle and decide, I want you, I want this, I want peace, I know what love is, and it ain't this over here, and it's not that over there. This is what we need to focus on. We focused on that. And we have now been together, married 15 years, together for 18 years. And I'm abundantly grateful for that. I couldn't have asked for a better individual to explore life and love with, but I know that I attracted the person that I needed in my life, not someone that would judge me, not someone that would make me feel inferior, not someone that would not respect me, not someone that would not allow me to be me without trying to change me. Year 15 married after getting married at 21. Y'all, come on now. We know that today ain't our grandparents' time, right? Or our great grandparents' time, where they got married for convenience or because of what the families had and how it would actually, help. And you would just get out your parents' hair by getting married. We were able to choose each other. We were able to choose each other, and we continue to choose each other. And furthermore, your second question of asking, how can you know if a person is sent to you from God? I'll tell you this. I don't know, because again, like I said, I don't believe God sends people into your life, and that's on every plane, on every level, dating, romantic, or friendship. I don't believe God sends people, will send you a love person, a person of love. But what I do believe is that you will attract the person that you desire, that you're interested in. And there may be some tweaks to that, right? Where you may not be specific or enough, or you may have desperation, where you may attract someone that may have some of the qualities or characteristics, the attractiveness, right? Someone that is forward and that is very interested in you, like this guy that's being very direct, right? He knows exactly what he wants. He's telling you, drop your number. I want to get up with you later. Like I want to, I want to pull up on you. If that's not what you're interested in, if that's not the approach you want a guy to have towards you, you need to attract a guy that comes at you correct, that has respect, right? That talks to you and makes you feel as if though they want to pursue you respectfully and get to know you, not meet up with you later on that evening, not knowing what the evening may bring. You know that if you felt uncomfortable with that level of engagement, more than likely he's going to continue to unfold in that way, in other ways that make you uncomfortable. Or you can vocalize your discomfort and you can say, hey, I prefer someone that's a little laid back. You know, your forwardness is great. I love that you're interested, but I would prefer someone that kind of gets to know me a little bit better publicly before we start spending personal time together, and see what the response is. If the response is, shade, or if he jumps to conclusions or gets defensive or starts talking smart, that's not the person you want to attract. So you end that connection. right? Even if you do believe that God sends people into your life, I'll go with you on your belief. Why would God send you someone that makes you uncomfortable? And don't try to make it fit. Like, don't try to make this fit because you're like, oh, I know I asked God for somebody. You can ask God for somebody all you want to. That don't mean God's gonna send you somebody you need deliverance from. Because then that would be a warped thought process if we say God is sending us people, but then you end up realizing that person is someone you need to get away from. Like, God, come take him. You sent him, come get him. I don't want to believe that God would send me someone that's going to be a problem. I don't want to believe that God's going to send me someone that's going to cause me um to question love or question if it's my time for love. That's why we have to be very conscious of what we believe God sends, what we believe God does. Because if God sends this person, there should be no problem attached with this person. Because what you'll end up doing in the process is making excuses. Well, God did send him, but in this process, he got out of the wheel and this started happening. No, 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 no. Let this fall on God, all of it. Him being a problem, him being toxic, him being drama, him being forward, him being forceful, him being aggressive, him being shady, him being crazy, him being lazy. Let all that fall on God since God sent him in the beginning, right? So if you remove that layer of God sending versus you attracting, realize that at any point in time, if you shift it from you, from your accountability to God, you got to ride it out. God sent you trash. And I know nobody wants to say that. So then don't start with that. Don't start with the mindset that God sent this. God did not send that. You attracted that, which is accountability. It's not a bad thing, but it just lets you know that your vibration has to change. You might have to go in and refresh your page or vary that, like that alignment. I got somebody, people are showing interest in me. Great. That lets me know that I'm doing a good enough job of vibrating my interest and desire that I want relationship. But now I need to tweak my emotions on that. I don't just want anyone. I want someone who is subtle. They are, they take initiative. They're not shy about their interest in me, but they also don't make me feel uncomfortable with their interest in me. I don't have to feel as if though I want them to dial it back on how they approach me. You shouldn't want any of those things. Case in point, when I met my husband, he was very, and he still is, he's very chill and laid back. And as you guys can tell, I'm a very talkative, forward person. I'm very decisive. I am not indecisive by any means. I know what I want. I've always known what I've wanted since I was a child. That is my character. I'm not being rude or mean. I just know who I am and what I want. And so with my husband, when we first initially met, like officially, he was very chill and laid back. And I kind of was more flirtatious with him, but he just went with the flow because he liked me. But I knew he liked me. So that's why I felt more comfortable with being more forward about it than what he was being. He was trying to be laid back and reserved because he didn't know where I was going to go with it. I went full fledged because I was like, okay, you want to play the games, baby? Hasbro me. Tag me in Monopoly, okay? Because I play the games. Uno, spades, right? Charades, Connect Four. Honey, I play all the games. So that was the mode in which led to us being more expressive in our interests for each other because he was kind of laid back and chill, but I knew he liked me. Then I was very direct and bold in my approach. So I made him feel more comfortable with flirting because I flirted. And so that connection led on from there. And then we started talking. Then the long distance conversations happened. This is when we were just on phone calls. He was in Mississippi, I was in Indiana. And I liked talking. I loved talking. I am a communicator. And so physical isn't a big deal to me because I care about things that stimulate the mind. And so I knew I wanted that. Everybody else I talked to prior to that, like little guy friends here and there, it was all conversation. There was no FaceTime, there was no social media like that. Black Planet existed. You had MySpace a little bit, but we still had AOL dial up. So I wasn't even able to fully get on that all the time without having like a little free AOL disc to download for a 30-day trial. Play with somebody else because I'm back from back in the day. Um, so we really had to build relationship, and I was grateful for that. And so to me, I believe I attracted someone who would listen, who would let me express myself, who would let me talk, and also enlighten them on new things, that didn't feel ashamed, didn't feel bad, or like I said, feel indifferent or inferior about the things I knew, because he was from the South and I was from the Midwest. And I, by all means, know that I was way more fast paced than he was, but he was so okay with that. He never felt bad about that. I was the reason why he got on an airplane for the very first time, because he flew from Mississippi, well, the Memphis airport, to Indiana, to Chicago. So I gave him new experiences and expanded his life. From the beginning, there was expansion there. And that had to be an interest and desire from him subconsciously. We were young, but he had to want more, because he attracted someone that brought him more, that gave him more challenges, more opportunities, more experiences. I brought that to the table, even as a teenager and a young adult. And then for him, he brought that balance of grace and growth and support, respect, right? Discipline. He was a musician. So he understood that he literally took a lot of time to train and to teach himself how to do those things. And so, with my passion to go after what he wanted, that made him switch his major in school from architecture to music. And that was something I'm like, you don't owe anybody an explanation on why you want to shift and change your life, career choice or path. That's what you want to do, not architecture for your mom. She not gonna have to go to work for that every day. You are. So we both added value to each other. And that was something, again, that I wasn't praying for. It was just who I was that attracted someone that would allow me to be my full self. So what I'm saying is that if you, again, take that cover off of God is going to send this person and I'm praying to God for this kind of person, versus I am attracting and vibrating on the wavelength of someone that would embody these characteristics, that would embody these personality traits, that would come into the picture not perfect but able for me to build and grow with, to that level of perfection for us. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be. And the moment you notice things that don't align with that, don't try to make them look like that. If it's not that, it's not that. It's not it. And we have to be okay with that. Not the thought process of potential, which we've heard people talk about, that don't marry or don't date with the intent of someone potentially being able to change and shift and be something else, right? Because we all have potential. I could potentially be a mass murderer. Just saying, just put it out there. Okay. I could potentially become a domestic violent, person. I could begin to abuse my husband. That's not me, but we all have potential. That's my point. And so, with that being said, you don't want to date for what someone could potentially be. You want to only attract what you know and who you are, um, actually interested in growing with and developing a relationship based off of your qualities and their qualities. Is there a match there from the start? Is there balance there from the beginning? Can you grow on that externally and do the job independently of each other internally? Because external is something that you guys both can do together. Internal is that's a game of one. There's nothing that person can do to shift or change you, and there's nothing you can do to shift or change them. They have to be willing and ready to do that work in order to be a happy, like, um what's that word, well, couple, yes, but an end project together. Like, for those two beings to come, you guys have to be willing to do your own independent work. And so for me, I would say the story is definitely, it's funny, it's cute, it's engaging, but I'm not gonna lie to you. You saying that you felt uncomfortable is the deal breaker for me, because I know as a woman and as a woman with a daughter, if my daughter ever told me that this was a scenario, I would be okay if she gave him the number, but I totally would also be okay if she did not answer any text or phone call afterwards. You may have given the number, but you ain't got to answer the call. Hey, 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 haha, that's a word. You may have given the number. You do not have to answer the call. You do not have to engage. You do not have to say anything else. You do not have to give a reason or an explanation. Maybe there's something that he will grow in as he gets older and engages with more women that lets him know, hey, that's don't hold up, hold up, swallow them up, back up. You're doing too much. You got a little too much dip on your chip. You're putting 20 on 10. I didn't say I wanted to, meet up with you later. You ain't even text me. You ain't even called me. We haven't even talked. I don't even know your name. No, you can't pull up on me. Okay? So I'm gonna go home, let my phone charge, and we'll talk later. Like that's my energy. Always has been my energy. I'm very direct. So I literally would be like, slow down. Okay? What's your name? First of all, how old are you? What do you do for a living? I've seen you several times, but I know nothing about you. I got your number. I'll give you, you give me your number. I'll call you. Cause it's certain times where you do have to like redirect the energy so a person knows who you are, where you're coming from, and what to expect out of the relationship with you. And it's okay to do that. But my ultimate feedback on this would be that I do not believe that God sends someone into your life. I believe that you attract people into your life. And like I said, that's with friends, that's with coworkers, that's with business opportunities, and that's with romantic relationships as well. And you will always attract who you are in that moment, in that season, or what you need. Always who you are and what you need. If you need someone to be supportive, someone to be a connector, someone to just be there for you, like people can literally be who you need in a season. I've experienced it, and the relationship fizzes out respectfully, sometimes confusing, but relationships will fizz out with no issues, no bad blood. But in that season, they were good. They were what you needed. And I'll give you the story of who I'm thinking about specifically. I moved to Texas and I was, a stay at home mom. And I had just got done working my dream job, working in radio, and communication was my thing, like literally getting on air every day, talking to an audience, having a radio personality, having people notice me at the store, like having the personalized license plate with my personality name on it. It was the life, right? And then I moved to Texas where I knew nobody but my sister, my dad, and my stepmom, who lived on the other side of town. And then it was me and my husband with my 1 year old son. He's going to work every day, and I'm sitting at home with the 1 year old, going to Gymboree some days, right? Going to Play Street Museum to play with my son some days. Some days going to McDonald's was a highlight. Some days going to Chick-fil-A was a highlight. I learned the Dallas area quickly because I was all over this city getting food, going to the zoo, the museum. I did all the things, but I felt very alone. I wasn't connected to the part of me that felt alive the most, which is communication. And so, long story short, I ended up making friends in these places that I would take my son to go play. And I met this beautiful, beautiful person, this beautiful woman. She was a doctor. She had her doctor's degree in education. She owned her own school. And her and her husband were doing very well for themselves. And they only had one child at the time that was the same age as my son, but they had a daughter. And we connected literally sitting on an ABC rug, right? We're talking. She's this professional. I'm this ex professional, if you will. And our lives were in different seasons. But she was able to pour into me, and I was able to pour into her. And we connected immediately, met every week. She was always calling and texting me, hey, can you meet up for a play date today? Hey, let's meet at this pizza place with the kids. And we were just doing our thing together. I started my business in 2019, and the relationship kind of started growing apart at that point. I didn't notice it. I would notice it more after I got, quick success. And long story short, the relationship just fizzed out. But in that season, before I got to the place of having a business and I was booming and things were growing great and I had a lot of publicity and all of that, she was an anchor. She was so comforting. She was there. She was someone that I could talk to that listened, and then I listened to her. And then we would check in with each other and ask each other how we were doing. And when certain things would happen, she would call me, like, girl, I just need to talk. I just need to vent. I want to sell my, I want to sell my school, but I don't really know what I'm gonna do if I do that. And she ended up selling her school franchise and then started doing shirts, like producing shirts. And this is a woman with a whole doctor's degree. So she would tell me like how me starting a company inspired her. And it was just a beautiful relationship, but seasonally it fizzed out. I attracted her because I needed someone like that. Not someone that would be pushy and demanding and impose on my life as a stay at home mother, but someone who would be understanding, someone that would be soft and gentle and nurturing in that season. And I could be that for her in her season of full life and busyness and productivity and efficiency when she craved what I had. So we were great for each other. But when that time was over, it was over. And I attracted something else and something else and something else. Relationships are attractions. Every experience in your life is an attraction. It's not desperation, it's attraction. But if you have desperation in your attraction, expect it to kind of have a glitch in it because it's not coming from a pure place. It's coming from a place of need, not from a place of, oh wow, this is going to help me grow. I need this. I need this. I need this to grow. No, you don't. You don't need this to feel full. You need to feel full first and attract that extra bonus that will make you fuller, not something that will fulfill you. You need to already be full. I hope that makes sense. That's all I'm saying. I was full in my life. I had my husband, I had my son. We were stable, we were good, new place, start over, but I needed something else to fill that other part of me more, right? And it came and it was a beautiful thing. And so this can be the same thing with love for you. Your attraction, your desire, your interest. It just needs to be something different. You need to vibrate on a different level to attract that. And when it comes, you'll know it won't be forced and you will not be uncomfortable. You should not be uncomfortable in your attraction. You should know without a shadow of a doubt that you've attracted exactly what you need and you feel great in doing so. You feel complete in doing so. You are happy in doing so. This is what I wanted. This is how this should feel. It may feel too good to be true, and that's okay, because a lot of times we want something, we're vibrating on the level to get it, and when it comes, sometimes it's natural and you're like, okay, well, I wanted that, so I expected it. It may look like to somebody else like, girl, why you ain't tripping, because this is too good, like this is great, right? You excited? I'm so happy. But you were already happy. So when it came, it didn't make you happier. It just now gets to exist in your already existing happiness. Versus if you're void of it and you're sad about that, when something comes, you'll settle. You'll settle for it because it's filling the void that you have continued to acknowledge. But it still makes you want something else. You don't want that. You want exactly the peace. You want the peace, the PEACE, that's supposed to fit in that part of your life. Not the PIECE, because that's the person. You want the peace that's meant to fit into that place of your life. So I hope I have answered that question, share some examples of my own situation so that you can understand a little bit more of where I'm coming from and why I do not believe that God sends people or God will, do things, because if things go wrong, you have to then be willing to still blame that on God too. If that person ain't right and you want to be released from them, that's God's fault. And then that would make God be imperfect on the stance that they didn't even know who to send you for your life, or God sent me a test for my next. No, that ain't how this works. You're not going to be in love with this person while the next person is waiting to love you too. From the beginning, okay? The right person, the right situation, and the right piece. Okay. You guys, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions that you would like me to talk about, then and give my 2 cents on, send it to me at my 2 cent matters with an S at gmail.com. That's my 2 cent matters at gmail.com. I would love to answer, do a video for you, and get more into this conversation because it's always good to hear from the people who are giving me the views and the subscribers. And we're growing together. So I will talk to you guys in the next video. Be safe, be kind, be love, be joy, be peace, and all of the good things. And yeah, we'll do this again soon. Bye.